When I was learning about attachment styles about like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I tried to find a video on YouTube that gave me a very concise overview of what attachment styles are, the different types, and how it affects all your relationships. I could not find that video. I don't know if there's one out now, but my hope is this video will give you what I wanted in the past. Disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. I am not trained in any of this. I'm just a dude that is interested in this and has found so much value in attachment theory and attachment styles in being able to recognize unhealthy patterns applied across all of my relationships just because of this. So in this video, I want to talk about the 4 different types of attachment styles. I'll give you a quick overview of what each of them mean. I'm going to give you examples from a test that I really like taking and I've recommended to like all of my friends. And you'll see later in the video. I'll like show you screenshots and stuff. And I also want to talk about how it affects romantic relationships and also friendships. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the 4 different types of attachment styles. And I'll try to keep this quick because that's what we're going for. I'm going to change the camera here and I'm going to show you my attachment style test results. So the easiest way to explain attachment styles is using this graph. You can see on the x-axis, it's anxiety, and on the y-axis is avoidant. And the 4 quadrants represent the 4 different types. So if you have high anxiety and high avoidant, you are a fearful attachment. This is also sometimes called as dismissing. If you are low anxiety, that's on this scale, and low avoidance, you are secure attachment. If you are low anxiety but high avoidance, you are dismissing. Sometimes this is also called an avoidant attachment style. And if you are low avoidance and high anxiety, you are a preoccupied. This is also sometimes called as an anxious attachment style. The terms that I use and am familiar with is secure attachment style, avoidant attachment style, fearful attachment style. This is also sometimes called anxious avoidant because of the scales. But I just say fearful. And then this is an anxious attachment style. So what do each of these mean? As you can guess from the scale, if you are secure, you're good. You're able to self-regulate pretty well. You don't get into a ton of drama. If you are an anxious attachment style, I am an anxious attachment style. You tend to, especially when you're in romantic relationships, you tend to require more attention/validation and you tend to be more clingy. If you are a dismissing avoidant attachment style, then you tend to still crave closeness, but when you get too close to someone, you get scared and you want distance, right? It's like too much sometimes. And then if you are fearful, you're both. So you kind of exhibit both anxious and also avoidant behaviors. Now, this is all great. Theory is great. How does this affect your relationships? As you saw from the graph, which I'll go back to in a bit, there are different areas of attachment styles. It's not just one thing. And this is a misconception that I see a lot, is people just think, oh, I'm secure or oh, I'm anxious, but you can be different attachment styles in different areas of life. So if I go back to this, you can see there's general, which is like your general attachment style. There's, please focus. There is partner, which is your attachment style when you're dating someone / romantic. There's friends, and then there's M for mom and D for dad. So you can kind of see this is my results. I think these were my results. Like this is not updated. This is probably like a year ago or something. So old results, but you can see it's kind of all over the place. Now, what's really interesting to me is the difference in attachment styles when you go from friends to partner. And I'll show you what I mean by that by showing you a graph that or test results that are not mine. So this person's attachment style, you can see friends is anxious, but partner and a lot of other stuff is dismissing / avoidant. And so the question that I asked this person was, what happens when somebody who is a friend goes from friends to partner? And this person said that I'm trying to like not dox any information about this person. So this person said that if there is a friend that transitions to a partner or they start to date, that commitment is very scary for this person, and this person does not like that at all. So there's an actionable thing that you can look at when you do this test, which I'll put down in the link below, description below. I'll put the link in the description below. YouTuber things, still getting used to it. And you can look at where that transition is for you and if there's any differences there. One thing that I've found very, very, very helpful in understanding all of this is there's not like a good or bad. Like I think some people think, oh, if I'm fearful, then I have high anxiety and high avoidance, therefore it's bad. And if I want to get to secure, I want to get to secure. I also had that thought as well, but I think it's a lot more healthy of a mindset to have if you just learn what the pros and cons of your attachment style are, accept them for what they are, and work with them. And that's why and how I've found all of this helpful for me, is because when I realized that I was an anxious attachment style, I started reading books on this. I think I have one right here, a really popular one called Attach. Would recommend. And I learned the pros and cons of it, and I've learned to just accept it. And instead of always trying to get to secure, I think if you just accept the pros and cons of your attachment style and work off of a basis of acceptance instead of wanting to try to change absolutely everything about yourself and rejecting things that are based in reality that you're seeing right now about yourself, then slowly you will just move in the direction that you want to go by default. And I've noticed certain patterns that repeat over and over and over again. I can talk about this in another video if you want, if there's people that are watching this that are anxious attachment and you're just like, how did you deal with all of this? But one of the things that I've noticed happen over and over and over again is, as an anxious attachment style, I would outsource a lot of validation. And I realized this because I noticed that the expectations that I had around some of the relationships I had, especially friendships, were really, really, really heavy. Like, I would rely on people to do things with, and if they would cancel our plan, I would get really, really pissed because I was like, why did you cancel our plan? Like, I made this plan for you, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized, I was like, I shouldn't be doing things dependent on other people. I should be doing things because I want to do them, and I should depend on me. Like, whether or not I do something should not depend on another person. Does that kind of make sense? Anyways, I've learned a lot of things from this. This is just a quick introductory video on all of this. If you want me to do a book review on this, or if you want me to talk more about this, let me know. I love talking about this stuff, but I want to keep this nice and short. I hope you learned something, as always, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Goodbye.